thank you for joining us for another episode of Business PNG. The SME Awards for Leadership is an initiative of the IMMB Enterprise Centre to recognize leading national businesses and organizations that shine in the internationally accepted standards of business management. Often overlooked, SMEs are the engine of growth in any economy and need to be developed. This was the consensus at this year's SME Awards, where 400 attendees witnessed some of the best SMEs awarded for the excellence shown in their standard of performance. In an exclusive interview with Business PNG, Executive Director of IBBM Shreta Sood congratulated the winners and applauded their community capacity building.
The most rewarding part of it is when we really work on capacity building of the SME businesses, when they get the value of the services, and we are very thankful to our sponsor ExxonMobil that they started this whole initiative rolling, and the IBBM board that they started, they continued this initiative beyond the construction phase of the project as well, and that's what is the real feeling. That's what which not just me, it brings the entire staff of IBBM, the entire team of IBBM to come to work every morning with the feeling that we will be helping another small business, we'll be helping another entrepreneur, we'll be helping another individual, to be successful in their work or business or lives.
Some of the night's awardees included the Women's Microbank Limited for their excellence in business management, Pacific Computers Limited for the award of asset and inventory control, and Sunday Chronicle Limited for the HR Management Award. The winner for the night's two main accolades went to Lifu Holdings Limited for Best Performing SME and Global Customs and Forwarding Limited for Most Improved SME.
I'm ecstatic, of course. I'm very happy because this award is not just for me, but it is for the hundreds of staff that we employ. It's for the family that support them, and it's for our customers. I think predominantly SME, the biggest challenge is being confident in what we have to do, and I think coming from an SME background, a lot of SMEs out there start off with passion and determination and sometimes get put off because of a lack of so many different things. But persistence, if anything, persistence, if you get blocked in one way, be flexible, change your mindset, be strong enough to get up and find another way to keep on going, because no one can ever take away from you your passion and your determination. And if that stays alive, then for sure there's a lot that can be achieved.
I feel deeply honored and privileged to have this award. Being an organization, a bank, we just started about 1 year and 3 months ago. And that's, I'm really happy, and I'm really thankful for my staff and the customers who have kept their trust in us to come into that far. You don't have to wait until you grow up to implement, because particularly we received our category under the management. So even from day one, if you need, if you have policy procedures in place, and it's easy for you to manage your business, and that's the must that you have to do, everything to be in place, and then it's a matter of implementation and monitoring. So that is the message that I wanted to give it to other organizations.
Really excited, and I wasn't expecting this. This is really a boost for a small business like us. It's a great thank you to ExxonMobil through Enterprise Centre for recognizing us. If it wasn't for their hard work, putting the efforts together to assess us and recognizing us, we wouldn't be there, and no one would know us. But it's a great effort that they put together to put small businesses that are owned by Papua New Guineans, so that we can be recognized and we can further grow from there.
Being awarded the quality control in an SME, and it gives me a very, very great honor. I think in business, from small to medium to large, quality control is a vital part of any business. And being an SME awardee, I'm really proud, and I hope to maintain and grow this and maintain quality in in whatever I do in my business with Pacific Coating Solutions.
The only way to grow or to continue to be successful is hard work. There is a lot of hard work, and we all face it in everyday work. We face it as an SME ourselves, as an IBBM, we face it. But the only way we can come up to it is the passion. We continue with our passion, and we face every day as a challenge, and we move forward with it. So that's something which we would definitely like to pass on.
The long-awaited Pacific Marine Industrial Zone in Madang was officially launched last week by Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and other senior delegates. The national government expects to see a 50% increase in Papua New Guinea's tuna exports after the PMIZ is completed. Bethany Harriman with more.
Last week Tuesday, a high-level delegation accompanied the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to the Madang province to launch one of the most controversial projects in the last 11 years, the Pacific Marine Industrial Zone. 9 canneries will be operating, generating 400 million kina in tuna export value, a 50% increase. The government will pass new policies to safeguard this investment next year. Fisheries Minister Mao Zemming made the announcements at the launching of the project.
Starting next year, this government will introduce a policy that fishing companies that fish in our internal archipelagic waters shall process 100% of their catches in PNG. We will also reintroduce or reinforce a policy of no mother ship transshipment in our exclusive economic zone. No direct landing overseas by PNG-based boats. No fishing in the eastern high seas, and also no bunkering in high seas, but only at designated ports in PNG.
And as a government, you must stop him. You must 100% process him all the tuna and fisheries project, a processor or product in Papua New Guinea. Enough of creating jobs in Thailand, now Philippines, now Zambia. We need jobs in this country. That's why I've been supporting this project from day one.
Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Richard Maru said the project will bring water supply, employment and electricity.
People are estimating export value when we have 10 black canneries here or processing plants is estimated at $2 billion. You just imagine, can cash flow was $2 billion. Big problem in Bakam Salong or communities lo Medenya. Come lo market lo yumia, come lo shop lo yumia. It's going to transform Madang forever.
The project was delayed for nearly 10 years due to ongoing court battles over environmental issues and landowner ownership. Prime Minister Peter O'Neill said that people in the area must be open to development.
Every year, Papua New Guinea is given license for many years now, where all months account are working fishing local country. But some blood talk of some close to 1.5–2 billion kina. One year. That's like you Salem walking on Narbala line.
In 2006, the Somali-led government approved the project and the 200 million kina concession loan was taken from the Chinese Exim Bank to build it. Since then, there has been protests against the project happening. The first phase of construction has been delayed from ongoing court battles with immediate resource owners and the national government. The court battles between the national government and resource owners were over environmental concerns.
We need to get the balance right. We will have to make sure that environment is a concern for our people. Our environmental department and officials must work extra hard so that they get the confidence of our people that what they can see is going to be managed in an environment.
But Prime Minister O'Neill said the government has reduced the number of canneries to be built from 9 to 3.
They don't want the fish stocks to be overfished. So we are saying that no, it'll be reduced down to 3. even getting one may be difficult.
Another reason why landowners were protesting and went to court to stop the project from happening is over the ownership of the land in Vidar, where the marine park was going to be built.
When we bought the land of the church has got a legal title over that. We are now trying to develop that. We will give the first opportunity to the residents of Madang, the landowners, to participate meaningfully and actively in this project.
In June, the Trade, Commerce and Industry Department took a national court order and served it on several people who have been involved in recent protests against the Chinese government-funded Pacific Marine Industrial Zone in Madang. The Secretary of the Department of Commerce, Trade and Industry served the order through its lawyers.
Basically, what this someone says is, you people shut up, okay? You people shut up. You people don't have any rights.
The PMIZ project will be built on land which was first acquired by the Catholic Church in the 1800s before it was sold in 1999 to RD Tuna and later bought off by the state for 4 million kina. Immediate resource owners still recognize the land as their own.
Welcome back. The brand new Kagamuga terminal building was recently opened in Mount Hagen by Prime Minister O'Neill and other delegates. The terminal will now serve the people of the Western Highlands Province as a domestic and international airport, thus strengthening the O'Neill government's plans to transform Mount Hagen into an agricultural city. Michelle Bird with more.
Last week in Mount Hagen, marking the latest milestone for the National Airports Corporation through the Civil Aviation Development Investment Program, the symbolic cutting of the red ribbon by the Prime Minister officially opened the newly built domestic and international terminal at the Kagamuga Airport. Funded by the Asian Development Bank and the government of PNG and contracted to the Chinese Overseas Engineering Group Company, better known as COVAC. Witnessing the overcast ceremony was the Prime Minister Peter O'Neill, several senior government officials and representatives from NAC, CADIP, ADB and COVAC, who joined the people of Mount Hagen to celebrate the inauguration of the upgraded Kagamuga Airport. The overhauled Kagamuga domestic and international runway, terminal, fencing, fire truck and maintenance equipment cost 185 million kina. 52.5 million kina, 75%, was loaned from ADB. 17.5 million kina, 25%, was from the government of Papua New Guinea. Refurbishment began in 2003 and officially completed and opened on the 26th of November 2015. Acting Managing Director for NAC, Mr. Joseph Tupiri, acknowledged and thanked stakeholders and everyone involved in the revamping of the Kagamuga Airport, stating that the Asian Development Bank and the government of Papua New Guinea in partnership are changing and delivering airports around the country. With Kagamuga now being the third international airport in PNG, Tupiri was confident that the Western Highlands Province will transform into an agri-tourism hub, opening new ventures and prospects for the province. The first international maiden flight will be to Jakarta, Indonesia.
For NAC, the Kagamuga terminal building is actually one of a result of a lot of the hard work that we've put in. Matter of fact, the way that we've designed, constructed, delivered the terminal building is a good story. What we have done is we've taken the best features of some of the terminal buildings around the Asian region, and then we've compressed it into a miniature version. So if you actually go and look at some of the bigger terminal buildings around Asia, like in Changi, in Hong Kong, and in some parts of China, what we've done was some of those features, we took it and then we compressed it into the terminal building that you see in Mount Hagen. At the same time, we had COVAC as the contractor and they're subcontracted to AG. What we've done is that we made sure that all of the materials that came out of factories in China, they met Australian New Zealand standard. Matter of fact, we sent our project management team, our young engineers across to the factories to actually make sure of that. Okay? And then we also put a strong project management team and a construction manager from NAC side. The final product you see in Mount Hagen Terminal Building is a result of getting the materials properly certified and they meet Australian standard, or our standard, PNG standard, and then project manage it meticulously to a level where the finishing and the completed product is actually value for money that our people deserve. So in terms of delivery of the project, I must commend the CADIP team, the contractor, and our own team within NAC that have worked together very well with the contractor to deliver a world-class, truly world-class facility in Mount Hagen.
Tupiri also spoke about economic inclusion on all levels, stating that security and cleaning personnel would be hired and trained locally. A market facility is being constructed opposite the terminal for local farmers to sell directly to travelers flying in and out. The plan is to hire and train the people of Mount Hagen so that there is a sense of ownership and belonging, which will help in maintaining the facility in the long term.
The local communities benefit. For security contracts, we've given it to the local clans that are former landowners of the airport area. So we've given contracts to 3 local groups, and so they're really happy about that. We've created a market for them as well, for the local community, and of course that is actually improving the opportunity to sell their garden produce and things like that. And then we're also giving cleaning contracts to the local communities as well, and we have offered to hire more young people to work from the local community to work as customer service officers, security, and of course train them and develop them into doing more specialized work like within aviation security for international processing and with the rescue firefighting facilities we have there. So we want the community to actually become part of not only just spin-off benefits, but also long-term career developments for their local young people within the local community. So we're looking at doing that.
As the lending financial institution, ADB's country director Marcelo Mink expressed certainty in the airport projects around the country and showed keenness in what the future held for PNG through this project. Mink was also attentive to the architecture, pointing out that the new terminal is a reflection of the province's lush greenery and the culture through art, installed with the latest eco-friendly and energy-saving features.
As you saw last week during the opening of Mount Hagen Airport, the design, it's, as we call it, culturally inclusive. It mimics or it reflects the shape of the Mount Hagen axe handle. And as you can see, the patterns also follow the local design. So this is quite interesting and quite important to have new infrastructure in a way that also reflects the local culture and customs. Additionally, the design contains some environmental features which are quite good. There is also energy-saving features. Also, of course, the safety and security, which is the main reason why ADB assisted the government in funding these new improvements to Mount Hagen Airport.
Mink also spoke about some of the major achievements of the Asian Development Bank, supported Civil Aviation Development Investment Program, as well as its role in other major infrastructure developments around the country, stating that infrastructure development is the gateway to inclusive economic development.
For us, the infrastructure is a necessary condition for inclusive economic development. And why we say that? First of all, the infrastructure, for example, in the way of roads, provides access to the rural populations to health, services, education, in the way of schools, and business opportunities. For example, accessing the markets to sell the homemade products. So this is very important, and this is probably the first condition. Now, if we move up to more developed areas, it's also very important for business because it reduces the cost of doing business. That is from the transport side, but even from the energy side, it's quite important because the business need to be connected to a way of energy to conduct their business. So this is why our way of assisting economic development or inclusive economic development is through infrastructure. Some of our other colleague donor partners, they focus on different sectors, for example, health, education, but our main focus is infrastructure. So, out of the discussion and also, of course, having the government on the driver's seat, mainly through the Department of National Planning and Monitoring, and also the Department of Treasury, this is how we agree on our country program strategy.
CADIP through NAC, ADB and the government of PNG are improving 21 national airports to provide safer, secured and all-weather air transport services. The program includes extending runways, strengthening pavements, building airport fencing and parking bays for aircrafts, purchasing state-of-the-art fire trucks and upgrading navigation and air traffic management systems. Costing 1.6 billion kina, 80% of which was borrowed from ADB and 20% is funded from the government of PNG. The three-batch project started in 2010 and is expected to have all airports nationwide refurbished by 2018. 80% of the 1.6 billion kina loan from ADB will be paid back over a 30-year period. The country can now look forward to the next airport inauguration in the West New Britain Province Kimbe, the Hoskins Airport.
And that's all we have for you tonight. For more business news, or if you would simply like to view this episode again, visit MTV online at www.mtv.com.pg. Or to join the conversation, like our page on Facebook for daily business news, or follow us on Twitter with the Twitter handle at the bottom of the screen using the hashtag Business PNG. Until next Tuesday, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Mian Durari and this was Business PNG.